Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the platform of Unacademy, India's largest learning platform. Yes, boys and girls, am I audible to you? Yes, am I audible to you? Audible, visible, clearly, loudly? Yes, Rudra, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, everyone, am I audible, visible to all of you clearly? Okay. Yes, on Unacademy platform, we are going to provide you daily live classes, live tests, quiz, structured courses, unlimited access with one subscription. I hope all of you downloaded the Unacademy app. Those who haven't downloaded, please download the Unacademy app because special classes and plus classes available only on app. Let me introduce myself, those who are new here. My name is Harshvardhan Singh, and on this platform, I'm going to teach you all the aspects of history, including history optional, economics, and international relations. Currently, my lecture series on modern India and economics is going on. I already completed the lecture series of international relations and world history. So please watch the videos. It is available on YouTube channel as well as it is available on app. I'm having 9-year experience in the field of civil services as an educator at Delhi, Pune and Nagpur. Earlier, I completed my master's in economics and graduation in engineering. Yes, everyone, those who want to connect with me, those who want to know the lecture timings and all, you can connect with me through Telegram channel at unacademy underscore Harshv10, or you can connect with me through Unacademy app, that is Harshvardhan Singh for you. If you are having any doubt, any queries related to your preparation and all, you can contact me. As a senior, I'm going to suggest you some measures. Maybe these measures are going to help you a lot. Yes, these are our top educators. Please do watch the videos. It will be very helpful for you in your preparation. Yes, I hope all of you subscribe to Unacademy. Those who haven't taken subscription, please subscribe to Unacademy because your subscription is important for all of us. Your subscription made us possible to present such a wonderful video lectures for you. Yes, everyone, we are going to provide you options of plus as well as iconic. In the plus, we are going to provide you 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 24 and 36. I insist you please have a subscription for a year for a 12 month and it will cost around 44,550 after using my code, because when you use my code you will get the 10% discount and it will cost around 44,550 and it is very less as compared to any other place in India. Yes, same way we are going to provide you the iconic subscription for a year if you want to take the iconic subscription, because in the iconic subscription we are going to provide you other aspects including the personal feedback. So it will cost around 62,550 after using my code. My code is Harshv10. Yes, I insist you please have a iconic subscription. Yes, everyone. So same way we are going to provide you the option subscription as well. You can use my code and for a year it will cost around 24,750. Unacademic combat, everybody quite aware of this. Yes, boys and girls, have you participated? If you haven't, this is the chance for you. Feb 7, 2021 at 11 a.m. Format is simple. 45 minutes, 60 questions, 13 combats. And yes, prices are also there. So please be ready for that. Yes, we already launched the batches for 2021, 22 and 23 aspirants. The batches are in Hindi, bilingual and English. Yes. So according to your own requirement, if you want to appear for 2021, the 6-month batches is there or 1 year batches is also there. According to your own convenience, please join these batches. Yes, we are going to provide you combo offer as well. So if you use my code Harshv10, you will get subscription, iconic GS subscription plus optional subscription at 88,705. The same way, if you applied for combo subscription for GS as well as optional, then it will cost around 70,103. Please use my code Harshv10. price hike already there. Yes, these are my special classes. It is available for you. It is available only on app. Here we discuss the strategies. Yes, here I discuss the strategies related to pre, related to mains. Yes, we discuss that. Along with that, here we discuss about question and answer for mains. Then we discuss about one more thing, that is MCQs. It is not the case that we are going to just ask the question and you're going to reply. No, I'm going to explain what is the demand of question, how you have to deal with that, how what mistake you have done. So those who haven't watched it, please watch it and please participate on this special classes. Yes, a quick recap of last lecture. What we have discussed in the last lecture, we discuss about inflation. So first I mentioned about what is the meaning of inflation. Inflation is known as constant prices. When we added the in, that is increase in the constant prices, is known as inflation. Then we discuss about deflation, we discuss about stagflation, we discuss about reflation. Yes, these all terms and terminologies we deal in the last lecture. Along with that, we discuss about one more thing, headline inflation. Then we mention about core inflation. Yes, we discuss all this thing in the last lecture. So do you have any question, any query related to last lecture? Because why I asking this again and again, because these terms and terminologies are very important in application portion. If you haven't understood it right now, then it is really difficult that to understand it in future. Yes, everyone, and most of the students are having fear of economy just because of that. They don't understand, because the question in the examination, rarely they are going to ask the question on basic, but when the application portion is there, if you do not have the conceptual clarity, you are not going to attempt it properly. Means impact of inflation, how you are going to deal if you don't know what exactly inflation. Yes, so that is why it is important. Yes, good morning. How many people are there? Rudra, Ankita, Ashwini, Anagha, Nayan, Neha, Uma. Yes, good morning to all of you. So, do you have any question, query related to last lecture? No, no doubt. What a talented genius guys you are. Good. Okay. Next. Oh, inflation. We already discussed. Now we are here. Stages of inflation. There should be some stages, no? Before that, I just want to tell you one story. एक कहानी सुनाना चाहते हैं हम आपको. Yes, before that, I just want to tell you one story, and it is quite relevant in your life as well. Okay, Neha asked one question. Reflation. What is reflation? Reflation is basically combination of two words, recovery and inflation. That is, this is the recovery from deflation or recovery from slowdown. Yes, recovery from slowdown, and that leads to inflation. This is basically such kind of situation. This term is known as, suppose this is the slowdown, this zero, slowdown. As you know, cycle is always like this, zigzag, zigzag. It is just like our life. Sometimes we are on the peak, sometimes we are on the bottom. It is the same thing. So when it is 0, when it is 1%, when it is 2%, this stage is known as reflation, recovery from slowdown. And We mentioned in the last lecture only that in this case inflation is in between 1 to 2%. Yes, Neha, is that clear right now? Neha, is that clear to you? Okay, good. Other than that, is there any question, any query? No. Good. Okay. Now I just want to tell you one story, and it is related with your life, my life, everybody. Have you ever seen any baby? Baby, बच्चा, छोटा बच्चा जैसे पैदा होता है. Yes, everyone. A very basic story. I am asking some question and I am expecting the answer from you. Have you seen? Because earlier I used to ask. Yes, PK, very good morning. Have you seen any baby in your life? Yes, good. So, do you know one thing, one interesting fact? When baby just born, he started running. Yes, he starts running, but just जब पैदा हो गया और दौड़ने लग गया. Is that the case? Yes, is that the case? That just after birth, a baby is going to walk, baby is going to run. Is that the case? Of course not. Then, then the first important stage is zero. Baby was totally dependent. Yes, totally dependent. Clear? Then what baby is going to do after 6 months? After the 6 month, the baby start crawling. What Amit said, एक complaint please अनअकैडमी पे जिसकी वजह से मेरा इस बार फिल्म्स का क्वेश्चन गलत हुआ. Okay, I didn't get you, Amit, what you want to say. In the sixth one, baby start crawling. Crawling. Yes. After that, after crawling, then what's the next step? Next step is start walking. But walking and running is a different aspect. After crawling, the baby is going to start walking like one step, two step, and then that baby is going to walk slowly. Then after that, after 1 year, if you considered 1 year plus, baby starts running. Yes, the initial step is crawling, then baby starts one step, one, and then baby starts running. यस, आपने देखा होगा बच्चे फिर जब 1 साल के बड़े हो जाते हैं ना, तो घर वाले परेशान हो जाते हैं. घर वाले कहते हैं घर में शैतान पैदा हो गया. यस, सो दिस इज द वे द एक्टिविटी ऑफ दैट बेबी इज. Baby starts running, and you know what, once that baby grown up fully as a man, that baby left the home, maybe for preparation, maybe for study, और कभी कभी तो लोग पढ़ाई और नौकरी के अलावा ही भाग जाते हैं. आपने सुना होगा, run away. Yes, do you see the graph? Yes, Amit, I don't know about that, but maybe on app such facilities are available, then you can use that facility. I don't know about that. Clear? So this is the graph. Generally, a baby was totally dependent. Now baby is walking, then baby starts running, and finally a run away. भाग गए, भाग गए. Clear? So have you ever seen in your life that baby directly run away or baby just after birth started running? Never. So these are the steps. Clear? So these steps are, yes, Amit, I got your point, but I don't know exactly, but maybe it is available on Unacademy app. You can. Yes, everyone, this story is clear. This is very practical thing as almost all of you experience this thing. Right now, you are in this phase known as transition. Almost all of you run away. Clear? Yes, this story is clear because this is very practical and this story is having relevance with our case. How it is so? Here. The stages of inflation is there. The stages of inflation is very simple: initial, middle and final. Initial, middle and final. The initial stage or type of inflation is known as crawling inflation or creeping inflation. The initial stage is known as crawling or creeping. This inflation is about 1 to 2% annually. 1 to 2% annually. The next stage or next type of inflation is walking or trotting. Walking or trotting. Clear? This is the early stage, as we have mentioned. Just after 1 year, baby starts walking. So this step is known as middle, walking or trotting. Next step is known as running inflation or galloping inflation. Running or galloping inflation. Galloping generally घोड़े को कहा जाता है ना? So running or galloping. So what kind of inflation? As running means fast. So this inflation is in double or triple digit. So it is basically 10 plus to 999%. Initial inflation is 1 to 2% annually. This is 10% to 999% annually. So this early stage is basically from 3% to 9% annually. And the last stage is known as hyperinflation, runaway inflation or astronomical inflation. Astronomical inflation. Yes, everyone, is that clear right now? It is the same context as we have experienced this thing in our life. So generally, when we used to read this topic, types of inflation or stages of inflation, we used to mug up the things. There is no need to mug up the thing. Just try to understand from our life. And this 1% to 2% to 9%. 1% to 9% is considered as a low inflation. This middle stage is having second part, that is double or triple stage. In this stage it is high inflation, and if the runaway inflation or hyperinflation is there, then basically the economy of that country is already ruined. Nothing is there. Yes, astronomical. The word is used, astronomical inflation. यानी चांद पे पहुंच गया आप, हैं? धरती के बाहर चले गए, अब तुमसे ना कुछ हो पाएगा. समझ गए? The final stage of inflation is basically country's economy is nowhere. The first stage here the economy is working well, but still inflation is there. This inflation is a dangerous, is a higher. Means I just want to let you one example so that you will get to understand. For example, almost all of you have ever ate bread in your life. So bread packet, this is a bread packet. It costs around 10 rupees. But if the inflation is 1%, yes, I'm going to take the example. If inflation is a 1%, so 1% of 10 is how much? 1. That means in such case you will get that bread packet at rupees 11. No, sorry. It will cost around how much? 0.1. Yes, am I right or wrong? यानी 10 रुपए एक पैसे का यदि वो ब्रेड का पैकेट आपको मिलेगा, so do you really feel any change in your life? Yes, exactly. I changed it. Thank you for correcting me. So I already changed it. So once upon time, that bread packet was of 10 rupees. Now you're getting that packet for 10 rupee 1 paisa. Does it make any change in your life? Yes. Does it make any change in your life? Of course not. Point one, point one paisa, point one paisa, it doesn't matter. But right now, suppose the inflation is here. Inflation is 100%. Inflation is 100%. Then now how much it cost? Yes, Rudra, I got your point. So how much 100% inflation is there? Then how much the new cost is there? 20 rupees. Does it make any change in your life? If inflation is 100%, does it make any change in your life? Yes, does it make any change in your life? क्या 10 रुपए की चीज 20 रुपए में हो जाए तो आपकी जिंदगी में कोई फर्क पड़ेगा? Yes, of course, because this is just a one packet that you are purchasing at the double price. But what about your salary? Whether your salary is increased in the same manner? Whether your salary? Of course not. Your salary earlier was 10,000, and in this case your salary is 10,000, and in this case also your salary is 10,000. So that is the problem when inflation, remember one thing. So that's why remember one thing, that is when inflation is in initial stage, it doesn't matter lot. But if inflation is in double digit, triple digit, it matters, because I gave you one example of bread, but in your life you have to use other aspects. All the daily means electricity is there, food is there, other articles are there. So everywhere the prices are going to increase, but your salary is same. So it matters. So inflation within the limit is there, it doesn't create any problem. So that's why we mention up to 9, it is not that much cause of worry. As for example, if inflation is 9%, then right now you're purchasing that product of 10 rupees, it will cost around 10 rupees 9 paise, 90 paise. Yes, if it is the third case of 9%. So 10 rupees 90 paise, that means 11 rupee, it doesn't matter because 1 rupees is more. That doesn't create too much difference. But if you're paying double, it cost matter. Clear? So everyone, whatever I mentioned, is that clear to you? Stages of inflation clear to you? Yes, everyone. Is that clear to you? This 1%. to 9% is known as low inflation. This is the latter stage. Means middle stage is divided into two, early and latter. Early stage known as walking, throttling. यानी जब चल के जा सकते हो ना तो आप उसको पकड़ सकते हो, लेकिन दौड़ के जाएगा तो पकड़ना मुश्किल होता है. तो इसीलिए अर्थव्यवस्था जो होती है ना, अर्थव्यवस्था में इन्फ्लेशन को बड़ा ध्यान रखना पड़ता है. क्लियर? So if inflation starts running, then it is very difficult to catch. But if it is if it is crawling, creeping, or walking, it's easy for you to control. It's easy for you to catch. Yes, Pooja, you are there. Good. In pandemic, which inflation is going on? What do you think? What do you think? How much inflation is there in India in the time of pandemic? Remember one thing, that most of the time, India is having low inflation. Final, Pooja, if final is there, then remember one thing, there is no economy in the country. Means I consider most of you believe in the concept of God. So even God can not save you. Run away, भाग गया, तुम्हारे हाथ ही नहीं आएगा. Hyper, cannot control. Astronomical, पहुंच गया, चांद पे पहुंच गया, अब कुछ नहीं हो सकता. Remember one thing, Indian economy most of the time is in the low inflation phase. Clear? There are only few countries in the world which are in this stage. So here basically no economy means ruin. Everything is ruined. There are some countries, and double, of course, India also faces sometimes double inflation, 10%, 12%, 14%. But at that time there was a hue and cry all over India. महंगाई बढ़ गई, गाना गाने लगते हैं हम, महंगाई डायन मार खाएगी. That is the case. Clear? But there are few countries in the world where inflation in triple digit. Have you heard about it? The most important example in recent time, it was there in Zimbabwe. Yes. I hope this concept is clear to all of you. No question, no query, no doubt. Right? Next thing. Bottleneck inflation. Neha said, sir, please give example of final and astronomical inflation. So Neha, I think you haven't read what I mentioned. ऐसी कोई भी इकोनॉमी दुनिया में नहीं, वो इकोनॉमी ही नहीं होती है जहां पे इतना इन्फ्लेशन हो जाए. 1000 इन्फ्लेशन यानी 1 रुपए की चीज आप 1000 रुपए की बन जाएगी वहां पे. If it is a final stage, it is a 1000% inflation. A product of 1 rupees, it will cost around 1000 rupees. Do you think so that people are having that capability even after selling all their organs? Still they cannot purchase the things. So I told you, if such thing is there, then that place nothing is there. No concept of economy is working. But yes, of course, the double and triple digit is visible in the worldwide. Because if the astronomical or hyper or runaway inflation is there, definitely people are going to revolt. Clear? Yes, is that clear? Good. Next, bottleneck inflation. Yes, of course, it may not possible. It possible only and only when there is a dictatorship, tight form of control, means people doesn't have any chance to say anything against the government. If you say anything, just they are going to shoot you. So such type of situation is right now not possible because most of the countries in the world are a democratic country, and in the democratic country, people used to protest if they considered anything is wrong. Yes, Neha, I think this question is clear to all of you. Bottleneck inflation. Bottleneck inflation. What exactly this inflation? It takes place when drastically falls in supply, but demands remains the same. What is bottleneck inflation? Drastically, as you know, here is demand, here is supply. Same, equal. Now drastically fall in supply. Hence earlier the demand of 100, supply was 100. Now demand is 100 and supply is 50. This is known as bottleneck inflation. Such situation arise due to supply side accident, hazard or mismanagement. And you know that in India such type of things are very common. Any means how it is possible. If demand is there, definitely supply is going to be there. But sudden, what the word drastic, sudden, sudden fall. Sudden means something unusual, unexpected should happen. You know, in India, unexpected thing happen. We declared kal se band. Yes, so that is the case. Sudden fall into supply, but demand remains the same. That is known as bottleneck inflation. It is also known as structural inflation because it is a problem in the structure. That is known as structural inflation. So can we consider this problem is for short time? Yes, everyone. What do you think? Bottleneck inflation is a type of inflation which is there for some time. And inflation means we mentioned increase in the prices. Of course, if the shortfall of supply is there and demand is more, definitely prices are going to increase. You know that if earthquake is there or if any pandemic, let's example of COVID. Recently COVID was there, and in the COVID everything stopped. Suddenly everything is stopped, and but demand is always there, but supply side was not there, and due to that the essential things like sanitizer, hand wash, along with that mask and all, the prices are increased so drastically, so the common man cannot afford it. That is the bottleneck inflation. Yes, Ashwini said, does this happen when people keep extra stock with them? No, it is not the case. Because if people are going to take extra stock, supply side should know that yes, people, demand is increases, they also increase the demand. For example, if demand is like 200, supply side is ready to provide 200. This is sudden shock. नहीं अभी तक शॉक नहीं समझे और शॉक की जरूरत है क्या आप लोगों को हैं? Don't you get it? Shock, what exactly shock is? It is drastically fall into supply. सपोज आग लग गई कहीं पे, किसी इंडस्ट्री में आग लगी, क्या कर सकते हो? Yes, short time. Yes. Everyone has to survive, so demand was always there. Now you get it. What is bottleneck inflation? And of course, this inflation prevailed for short time. Short time means until that supply chain or supply side revolve. Yes, Nahan. Oh, alcohol and cold beverages during the lockdown. Actually, we cannot consider it as a essential thing. But yes, it happened. It happened. Yes, the bottleneck inflation is clear to all of you. No question, no query. Good. ये कोई सवाल है किसी के भाई? है तो पूछ लो. बैठे हम आपके सवालों के जवाब देने के लिए. Clear? Yes, is that clear to you? Boys and girls, I am asking the question to you. क्या आप लोगों की समस्याएं दूर हो गई है या अभी भी कोई सवाल है इसके मन में? किसी के मन में है? Yes, everyone, is that clear to you? Any question, any query related to the same? Or is the concept is clear to all of you? Okay? Okay. Next. The factors responsible for inflation. There are two factors. Demand pull inflation and cost push inflation. What do you think? What is demand pull inflation? Yes, what do you think? Why you people acted like your hand wash is acting as a slow? Because I asked this question for a long time, and once I started a new slide, then you are asking this question. Okay, I have this question, I have this question. Please remember, when you have time, then said yes, I have a question, I have a query, so that I will get to know this. You're not sitting in class, we are in virtual classroom. So please try to understand it. Clear? So if you are having question, query, then directly mention it. What Ashwini asks, that supply falls and demands remain the same. How supply falls? अश्विनी, ये एक इंडस्ट्री है. ये एक पर्टिकुलर इंडस्ट्री है. Yes, and they are producing PPE kit. They are producing PPE kit. There is one more company. They also produced it, and both can supply 100 items per day, 100 PPE per day. Suddenly, due to short circuit, it catch fire. So do you really think so that this company can alone provide 100 items per day? Yes, is it possible? If it catch fire, is it possible? Of course not. Suppose they were producing 50, they were producing 50. So now, after catching fire, how much quantity is available? Only 50. So can we consider it is a fall into supply? But demand is of 100 rupees. Clear? Is that clear? Yes, is that clear? Okay. Now, what is the question? Okay, demand is more, supply is less because of increasing money supply and all. I don't know. Yes, so my question is very basic. I forgot what exactly it is. Demand pull inflation. Demand pull inflation. What exactly it is? Yes, demand is more and supply is less. Yes, exactly. Here the demand pull inflation is demand is more and supply is less. As demand is more, supply is less, more demand led to increase in the prices. But how it is possible? Am I right or wrong? How it is possible? It is possible. It can be possible anytime. Yes, Sankita, it can be mismatch. But mismatch, how it is possible? Sudden increase in the demand. Is it possible? This demand pull inflation is because sudden increase in demand. I just want to give you one very good example. There was a company, now that company is merged with each other, a telecom company. That telecom company had a very beautiful advertise, and in that advertise they used a puppy. Yes, do you know earlier it was known as Hutch, then it was known as Vodafone. Yes, do you remember that? Yes, everyone, do you remember that puppy, particular a small puppy? Because of that ad, that particular species becomes so popular in India, and Indians want that. But do you really think so that suddenly if there is an increase in the demand, supply is going to be there? नहीं, हर एक को कुत्ता चाहिए. अरे कुत्ते पैदा करने पड़ेंगे ना भाई साहब, एक दिन में थोड़ी होंगे. Yes, if demand increases, everybody wants that puppy in their home, everybody wants to take the click with that, but it takes time to produce. So that's why the prices of that particular puppy increase in the market. So can we consider it is demand pull inflation? I just give you example. It is the same thing happened. Clear? Sanitizer in early few they're using. Yes. The best example of sanitizer as well. The demand pull inflation, because everybody said no, you have to sanitize your hand like this and that and all. Earlier people doesn't have any reference of sanitizer. Earlier people, only the rich class people uses the sanitizer, or the upper middle class, and they use in very judicious way, only traveling. But due to this pandemic, everybody is washing themselves with hand sanitizer. Yes. So sudden increase in the demand, and sudden increase in demand, that is known as demand pull inflation. Yes, Neha, what question you have asked? Sir, what is PAGER? Pager per. I didn't get it. What? I didn't get you. What exactly you want to ask? So this demand pull inflation is clear. What is exactly it is? It is sudden increase in demand, sudden increase in demand, and that leads to increase in the prices. Yes, pager. Okay, think so. Pager was an ancestor of mobile. Ancestor. I got it, but actually when you asked me pager, I was like, what pager? कौन इस्तेमाल करता है? कौन उसकी बात करता है? Pager is a technology which was there in between mobile and telephone, but that technology was released very shortly in India. in US and all, they were quite aware of it and they use this for 7 to 8 years. But in India, it was not there. In India, hardly 1 or 2 years people use that, and but suddenly India you start using mobile. गरीब समझे हो हमने? We start using mobile. Okay, and why it has happened? Because of LPG model. Next, cost push inflation. Cost push inflation. Cost push inflation. What exactly it is? Push. Cost push inflation. Yes, everyone. आप एक दूसरे से बात करने से अच्छा हमसे बात कर लो, हैं? बाद में खुद से बात कर सकते हो. Yes, everyone. Oh, oh, Ankita, what Ankita said, an increase in the wages or and raw material, basically production cost is increased, so the price of product also increase. Exactly. क्या बात, क्या बात, क्या बात. Good. Cost push inflation is basically increase in the prices of raw material or labor cost, and how increase in the prices of raw material because of shortfall of shortfall of raw material or labor. When shortfall of labor is there or shortfall of raw material is there, that led to increase in the prices at production level, and if the prices at production level is increased, then of course it is going to increase the prices in latter terms. You have to pay more, and the raw material is less, then raw material is less but demand is more, so of course prices are going to increase. Yes, 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 of course. In short, Ashwini mentioned it is the same. It is the increase in input cost. I just want to let you know with a very simple example. This year, everybody quite aware of it, and if you haven't, then it is a really matter of concern. The question and the case is related to farmers. As in India, this year, Kharif season suffered a lot. Why? Because of the retreating monsoon. Retreating monsoon destroy various crops such as soybean, cotton, then jowar. Yes, they ruined it. So now the raw material is less available. So do you know that if you go to any grocery shop and just ask the oil, any edible oil, you will come to know that right now you're going to pay around 130 to 140 rupees per kg for edible oil. But once upon time it was not the case. Once upon time it was available at 80, 90 or 100. Now for 1 kg you're paying 30 to 50 rupees more. That is known as cost push inflation. Is that clear? Yes, boys and girls. Is that clear? Yes, boys and girls. Any question, any query, any doubt? Okay, good. कोई सवाल ही नहीं है. क्या? Inflationary gap. inflationary gap. Means because of this gap, inflation is there. So how inflation is there? What exactly it is? Yes, thank you. There, oh, Satish is also joined us. PK also joined us. These are the new people who joined us. Yes, thank you. Next thing, inflationary gap. What exactly it is? Excess of total government spending above national income. Excess of total government spending above national income means, for example, your country is going to have 100 rupees. If your country is having 100 rupees, but the spending of the country is 110. Is it possible? Yes, everyone. If your income is 100 rupees and your spending is expenditure is 110, is it possible? क्या ऐसा हो सकता है कभी? Yes, I'm waiting for your answers, boys and girls. Is it possible that your income is 100 and spending in 110? Is it possible? Rudra said yes, possible. Yes, possible. Yes, smart guys and girls. Good, exactly. As a person, it is not possible for you, but as a government, it is possible because government is going to take loan. Yes, government is going to take loan for the spending. Yes, clear. So this concept is clear. It is not the nowadays, it happened earlier as well, and it is the basically need of developing countries. Developing, and this is known as basically fiscal deficit. In latter time we are going to discuss what is fiscal deficit and all. Don't worry, do not take too much tension of it. What is fiscal deficit, but popularly known as fiscal deficit. So what exactly it is? It refers to excess of investment over the saving. Excess of investment over the saving. But why it is so and how it is led to inflationary gap? This is intended to increase the production level. This is intended to increase the production level, which ultimately push the price up. Clear? This inflationary gap is basically more money is available in the market, as 100 rupees is available, but you are spending 10 rupees more, so more money is available in the market. So what's your intention? Your intention is to increase the production level, and that's why you pour the money in the market, and excess money is there market, and excess money always lead to inflation. पैसे ज्यादा होंगे तो खरीदार भी ज्यादा होंगे, और खरीदार ज्यादा होंगे तो हमेशा इन्फ्लेशन की तरफ ही बढ़ेगा. Clear? So inflationary gap is basically gap between income and expenditure, and this gap is because of that inflationary trend is there, and that's why it is known as inflationary gap. Is that clear? Yes, everyone, is that clear? And why government, and especially in the developing country, why government is spending on it? Why government spending more than income? Because they are basically developing the infrastructure. They are developing infrastructure, and they are developing the sustainable source of income for future. as government is investing on education, government is investing on railway, roads and all, because once you have to build it required money, but after building that it doesn't require that much money. It required money to just maintain it. Yes, inflationary gap is clear. So the same way deflationary gap is the reverse of it. Deflationary gap is, it is a shortfall, it is a shortfall gap of total spending of government over national income. And for example, if national income of the government is 100 and government is spending 70, this is expenditure. And if you are spending less, so less money is available in the market, and if less money is available in the market, then that leads to slowdown. And here it is, this is the situation of producing more than the demand, producing more than the demand, and that leads to fall into demand. It is also known as inflation, output gap inflation. Because if money is not available in the market, if people doesn't have money, what's the use of your production? Basically you are not producing more, basically people doesn't have a money. Do you think so that this deflationary gap is visible in recent times in Indian economy? Yes, boys and girls, do you think so that this gap nowadays visible in economy? Yes, Ashwini, exactly. If deflationary gap is there, then development is of course low. Do you know one thing, as most of you quite aware of this thing? There was a great economic depression of 1929. I think almost all of you heard ever in your life. Great economic depression in 1929. And America, it started America, and America suffered a lot. How they recovered? Do you know how they recovered? How US recovered from it? Yes, Ankita, don't worry. I'm going to provide you the example as well. Yes, Ashwini, exactly. That is the case. How they recovered. America start building road. America start building the railways and all, so that America invested money. This is the case of this inflationary gap. When they started investing on the roads, they are going to provide the employment. People were having money, and because of that, they are going to spend, and economy is going to roll back. Yes, now you get it. What happened in economic depression? America start building infrastructure. They spend more so that people get employment, and with that employment they are going to erect the structure. Now we are on this case here. Deflationary gap, as we mentioned, that shortfall in spending of the government over national income. This situation of producing more, this situation is of producing more than the demand. Actually, producing more on the demand is basically, it means shortfall in demand. And why this shortfall in demand? Because of no or less availability of money with people, and that leads to fall in demand, and this is also known as output gap. This is also known as output gap. Clear? So from government point of view, I'm not in a position because such thing is not there in India. But from industry's point of view, I just want to tell you how deflationary gap is there in industry. Automobile industry is the best example of that. A car sector. Do you know recently there was a shortfall into demand of the cars. Why it is so? Because people doesn't have money. The last year is a very best example in terms of economy to understand the economy. Due to the lockdown, there is no money available for with the people. Whatever the savings were there, that saving exhausted in 3 months. No money, no job guarantee, and when people doesn't have any job guarantee in the market, or they can't see the future in the market, people start spending very less. People start spending less, and because of that, when they are spending less, that means they are buying less, and if buying less, that is known as shortfall into demand. Yes, everyone, is that clear to you? It happened with the car sector. Right now, if you know that there are many people who uses their car for 4 5 years, and generally it was a trend before pandemic that people used to change their car after 4 to 5 years. But now they said that no, no, what happened? Everything is okay with this car. This is new, just look like new. That's it. Yes, 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 yes. Now, Ankita, you got it. See, you know everything. Yes, everyone. Is that any question? Yes, is there any question, any query, anything else? कोई सवाल है? कोई पूछना चाहते हो? No question? Nothing? Good. Okay, Uma, during the Green Revolution, production increased. But what about the people's demand? Good. A very good question asked by Uma, and I am really happy she asked this question. During the Green Revolution, the production increased. But what about the people's demand? People demand remains the same. It was not increased. Then what about excess food grain? That's why there is a concept known as buffer stock, and one organization is there, Food Corporation of India. They have their godowns. They have their godowns. They kept this excess stock with them. Government started procuring it. MSP is there. Government is started buying that thing because they are producing more. And do you know what happened? The condition of Indian farmer is became worst after that as well. Clear? So there are very good advantages. There are many advantages of green revolution, but one dark side is there, that peasants are basically suffered lot because of it. How it is so? Because they produce more, and because of that the product prices are drastically decreased. That is the dark side. That is really dark side. So that's why government decided to procure it, so that peasant should not suffer. You know, this example is very clear that if peasant produce more than the demand, there is a drastic fall into prices. Clear? Yes, Uma, is that clear to you? Is that clear to you? Any question, any query, any doubt? Clear? Okay. Now, measures to check inflation. There are three measures government is going to check the inflation. First, supply side measure. Second, cost side measures. Third, monetary side measure. Supply side measures. What exactly it is? Supply side measure is basically fall in supply, or in other word we mention the short supply. And if short supply is there, demand is more, then what is going to there? Inflation. Demand is more, supply is less, that leads to inflation. And you know that inflation, to some extent, it's clear, it's good, but if inflation is beyond the 10%, 11%, 20%, then it is not good for the economy. This is not a healthy sign of the economy. So what government is going to do? Best example, I just want to tell you this thing. Example, do you know that uh, onion prices onion prices suddenly increased and it reached to 200 rupees per kg? 200 rupees per kg. It happened in India only. So what government is going to curb this? Because this is the artificial price. 200 rupees is not that much good. So what government is going to do? Government is going to import onions from Pakistan. Yes, of course, because Pakistan is a neighboring country. Along with that, it is very easy for us to purchase that. It is available at very low cost. Yes. So government is going to import the onion from Pakistan so that this gap of demand and supply is fulfilled, and this is the way to check the inflation. This is the measure to check inflation from supply side. Clear? Clear? Good. Next, inflation is cost side inflation. Basically, input prices increase. Maybe it is because of fall in raw material. Yes, less supply of raw material, that may lead to increase in the input prices. So input prices increases, that's why cost side, means the product is increased. So how to provide inflation means, as the word is, sorry, the demand is there, but as the cost side, prices are increased because of shortfall of raw material, supply is less, and that leads to inflation. Yes, that leads to inflation. So how to curb that? How government is going to check? So government is going to provide some reliefs like tax. Yes, if government is charging, suppose for example custom duty is there, they are going to reduce it. If government is charging any other tax like GST, yes, they are going to decrease the prices. So this is the way government is going to provide relief, so that the product, the input manufacturing cost of that product is going to reduce, and it is manageable. Yes, so government can reduce the taxes so that they are going to provide you some benefits. Is that clear? Yes, cost side measures is clear. Government is going to provide some relief in the form of taxation so that the input cost is going to reduce. And if the input cost is going to reduce, then prices of that product is less and people can easily purchase it without paying more. Clear? Is that clear to you? Yes, boys and girls. Right now I'm talking about boys and girls. In future maybe I have to talk like that, sirs and madams, in sophisticated word or in normal words of people of India. My Baap Sarkar. And dhyan de do hum pe. Yes, is that clear to you, everyone? Or still you have a question, any query, any question? Nothing? Good. Okay, good. Next is monetary policy. This is the third measure and through which government through RBI curb the inflation, and we already discussed this in the previous lecture. We mentioned about the direct tools and indirect tools. The direct tools we mentioned about CRR, SLR. Indirect tools we mentioned about repo, reverse repo, OMO. Yes, we mentioned along with that MSF, we mentioned marginal standing facility. Along with that, we mentioned bank rates. Yes, RS, we do. You asked the galloping inflation. We already discussed this in this lecture only. Yes, in this lecture only, we already discussed this. But for you, as you asked, then it's my duty to mention it. Here is a galloping inflation. Running inflation is also known as galloping inflation. This inflation is in double or triple digit. It is the part of mid-level inflation. And before that, if you have missed the story which I mentioned in the class, you have one option. Just go and watch the video again to understand that story so that you will get the more information related to the same. Clear? No, it's okay. But just go and watch the video. You will get the perfect understanding of it. It's okay. Why you are taking so much tension? It is better to let than never. Yes, is that clear to you? Yes, whatever the things we have mentioned, is that clear? Any confusion? No? Good. Now, the next thing we are going to discuss in the next class, that is the inflation. Effects of inflation over economy, over demand side, over supply side, everywhere. Creditor, debitor, and this question generally used in the examination. This topic we are going to discuss on app. Yes, everyone, please take a note of it. Today evening we are going to discuss this topic on the app. Effects of inflation over debitor, creditors, and all. Yes, everyone, is there any other question? Is there any question, any query related to your preparation, anything? No. Clear. Good. So before ending this lecture, please give me 2 more minutes. Those who have any question, any query, then you can contact me with me through Unacademy app, or you can contact me through Telegram channel at Unacademy_Harshvardhan. Those who joined me today only, if you like the video, please like, share, subscribe, tell others to attend the lecture. If you really like the way of teaching, then you can dedicate your hats. You can follow me on Unacademy app. You can enroll for the classes. And yes, please subscribe to Unacademy because your subscription made us possible to present this video. And do not forget to use my code HARSHV10 is my code. You will get the 10% discount as well as you're going to count as my student. So in the evening, we are going to meet again. Yes, everyone.